In this video, I'll show you how I did the painting techniques for the Witch King's Flail. In the last video, you saw me build the whole Witch King's Flail, but before I can do any plasti dipping or painting, I need to make sure my foam has been heat sealed with my heat gun, and then after that I use some quick seal to seal all the seams, defects within the foam, or little holes, or anything that was odd on the whole flail. Once that was done, I used my 400 grit sandpaper and sand all those areas smooth so it has a nice finish before I can do the next step, that is plasti dipping. Now that the flail is ready for plasti dipping, I need to make sure my chain is also ready for plasti dipping. So I need to make sure that the foam pieces are plasti dipped and not the plastic chain. So I made sure that it's covered with painter's tape for all those areas before I can start plasti dipping those EVA foam pieces of the chain. Now all the pieces are ready for plasti dip. So when I did the plasti dipping of all the pieces, I made sure that I had applied at least 5 layers of plasti dip. The reason I did that is because it will give me a nice smoother finish for the flail and all the other pieces of it, because once I start painting, it will give me a nice smoother metallic effect, and also it made sure that all the pieces are sealed properly. Now that the plasti dipping has been completed, I went ahead and removed the painter's tape off my chain so I can proceed to the next step of painting with my metallic paint on all the pieces of the flail. We're now ready to start applying our metallic paint on all our flail pieces. The paint I use is Krylon Metallic Black Stainless, so I made sure I applied a good even coat on all the pieces of the flail, so I can make sure I have a nice metallic base before I can proceed to the next step. And once you applied a nice even coat, your flail should look like this, as with a nice metallic shine. Now that we have a nice black metallic base, now it's time to add the first layer of depth to the flail pieces. The reason is, right now it's a bit flat with just the black metallic. So what I did is I dry brushed silver acrylic paint across all the pieces of the flail. That's for the handle, the chain, and even the main body of the flail. By doing this, it gives me a bit more depth and volume like I indicated. And the next few clips you'll see here is me applying the dry brushing on all those elements here. Now I finished my dry brushing, but I want to make sure that my dry brush blends smoothly towards the innards area of the flail. So to help doing the blending is I went back to my spray booth and I used my black metallic paint I used before, and I just went and gradually, gently in between of those areas, smoothly, to help blend my dry brushing to the deeper areas. By doing that, it gave more volume to the flail. Once that was done, I went and used black gesso acrylic paint. I added some water to be a bit more watered down. And then I went across each of those spikes and added at the bottom of each spikes, and then wiped it down, added a bit more, wiped it down, as it gave a bit more depth and connecting pieces to those spikes. I even went and did the same thing in the center areas of each of those big flail pieces, because by doing that, it gave like there were some oils and grime that was stayed on in those deep recesses areas there, and it gave more volume to the maze to make more like a heavy metallic piece. I even went and added the black paint inside those areas there. And when I wiped it down, it kept the nice grimy effect in those corners and edges. So it gave more of a contrast between the light areas and the main core of the handle. I even went and added the black paint in those recesses areas of the decorative piece at the bottom and top, as you can see here, because it gave it more of a depth and also hiding some like griming and oils hiding in between those areas there too by doing this effect. Now that the metallic effect has been applied, it's now time to start aging our flail by adding some rust. So for the base of my rust is I use Scrag Brown. To make sure my rust effect on the chain looked more natural and not in the same area across the whole chain, is I applied the Scrag Brown into a random order. As for the main flail body, is I went and did the same thing as well of adding rust. Is I went ahead and added into a more of a random order across the whole flail body, where water could drip down with the rust and down the center of those areas, and where it could pool and where rust could form. So again, in a random order, so it makes it more look natural. As for the flail handle, I did the same thing. Is I went and I just basically randomized of where rust could appear onto the handle on the top, bottom, in the center of the handle as well, to make it more natural. Now that we've applied our base brown color of the rust, it looks a bit flat, it doesn't look natural. So to make sure to give more depth to our rust is I use Fire Dragon Bright on top of all those brown areas. By doing that, it gave more depth, and also it gives more of a natural fresh rust mark that's about to form on top of the older rust areas as well. So in the next few clips, you'll see me applying that effect onto those areas there. Et voilà, you now have a flail that is worthy for the Witch King.